beta, I just wanted to provide a little bit of insight into VoiceThread and getting your students to feel comfortable with VoiceThread as they start their year. I know it can be a little nerve-wracking. It definitely was for me my first couple of years, but it gets more user-friendly, I promise, the more that you do it. But their VoiceThread assignment is definitely their first really big assignment and one that you want them to do well, particularly because they're going to be utilizing this technology a lot throughout the year. So I'm going to just walk you through my first assignment for the course, and this is their introduction assignment and the one that they need to set up their own VoiceThread. So this assignment is 1.1 and it comes in 3 parts. Now obviously this is just how I decided to do it. You're more than welcome to use this model or if something else works best for your class. So as you can see, I have on the left-hand side all of my units and pages. And you can see I stack them from the first to the last. So that opening day is actually in the very bottom because as they are scheduled, you can see right there set to publish on a timer that they then will open up and the most recent page will be on the top. So it just makes it easier for them. So I have an opening day tab, which is on September 8th, and then the very short week, because I set up my weeks from a Friday until a Thursday. So the next week will actually start on the 11th because the 11th is a Friday in September this year. But I'm giving them a little bit of extra time to complete these first 3 assignments. So each week has its own drop-down menu with the assignments for that week. So under 1.1 is the Let's Get to Know Each Other assignment and the VoiceThread. So I've separated everything out into content blocks, and this is how you're going to see every single one of my pages set up so that the students always have the same consistency. Every single time they have their my contact information over on the right-hand side, and then everything else that they need to do in the traditional like 3/4 size blocks here on the left. So 1.1a is to share your contact information and to interview a classmate. So 1.1a is just to add their contact information to this Google Doc. So if I click on this Google Doc, it is their contact list, and this is what I do. And it's shown up on every single page on Haiku in case they need to remember how to get in touch. So I put all of my information here, my name, my school, they'll put their grade in here, city and state, so where I live, my cell phone number, and my email. I could add a section for my Skype, but I don't need to because my Skype is always here in my contact information. So I want them to add their information there so that they'll always be able to find it. And then I want them to connect with 2 partners for interviews using this discussion below. And so this is the discussion right here, and all they'll have to do is when the class roster is inserted, I'll set this up with the different groups, and they will just be able to, there'll be 3 people per group, and then if I don't have a multiple of 3, then one group might probably just have 2. And they just need to connect with one another and just start talking to each other, just to get to know a few people at a time. Try not to overwhelm them, but knowing that this is a very collaborative class and they're going to need to get to know people that are not face-to-face. So that's 1.1a. And 1.1b is the bulk of this. And so I've kind of worked over the years and as VoiceThread has changed, how best to go about this. And I give them a run through too, because they like Screencast, they like some visual aspects of it also. So I tell them that if they don't have a VoiceThread account, which most of them do not, they will need to register for one. So I tell them to go to this link here, which is the OSG page on VoiceThread, and you can see I just clicked it and it popped up. And now if they don't have one, now I'm signed in, but if they don't have one, up here in this left right-hand corner is going to have either sign in or a register button, and they'll have to register most likely. So they'll register, click, and create a free account. After creating your account, I want them to join the class VoiceThread group. So the class VoiceThread group, I think, is what becomes a little tricky. And so I'm going to explain right here how to create a VoiceThread group before I even move on. So if you go to VoiceThread and you sign in because you've created your account, and then you're signed in, and here under your picture on the upper right hand corner, you can go to this groups and contacts. So if you click on the groups and contacts, you have a pop-up that shows my contacts. So your contacts these tend to be a lot of the students that I've taught in the past. As you can see, I have different groups here, and these are the groups that I've created over the years, and groups that I belong to, like this was my Intro to Teaching Online course. So what you want to do is you want to click on this Add Group and create a new group. And so I'm just going to write Test Group for OSG Teachers, and you just click the Create the Group. You can add a little decal, you can upload your own. I'm just going to click the sunflowers and click OK. And so you don't have any group members right now because your students are not here yet. So what you just do is you click in this upper right hand corner, and it's kind of just like Google Docs. You click here and you get this link, and you just copy the link and it's on your clipboard. And then when you go back to your haiku page, when you have your content block that you're setting up, you can include it in a link like I have here under group 3, or I've also created its own separate box over here where all I have done, I'll click on this and edited it, all I have done is just put the link that I just copied to my clipboard here and however I wanted to label it, and then every time that this link is clicked, okay, automatically it just goes straight to our 2015-2016 forensics group. So it's very, very straightforward. And then all they have to do is, you see this button over here on the right hand side, it's called Add Your Own. That's all you have to do, is you can just create a new voice thread or select from my voice threads, and that's what they're going to be instructed to do. So VoiceThread is far more user-friendly than it was a few years ago, which I'm thrilled about, and it's actually a very, very fun tool. They can do a lot with it. Now, I don't want to hold you for too long because I know that this is a lot of information. But after they create their account, they want to join our group, and then that means that everything that they produce then can be shared with our group. And so you don't have to go searching for things. They easily find their classmates' work. Okay. I always want them to add a picture to their VoiceThread account so that we can get to recognize them and they recognize themselves too. All right. And then I go through some steps here, which is in conjunction with assignment 1.1c, which is actually creating their VoiceThread page. So through this VoiceThread page, they need to create a slide 2 to 3 if they need to in PowerPoint or another media, and with pictures of themselves, not too much text. And they also have to think about their classmates that they interviewed, because they're going to add those to VoiceThread in this case. And then they're going to upload this presentation, and I said just like I explained in 1.1b, which is steps 6, 7, and 8. And then they need to start to explain themselves and explain what their pictures represent. And I'll show you an example of mine down here. And their comments don't have to be long, but you want to start to get to know the students and see their faces and hear their voices. So once theirs are uploaded and they've explained their own slides, they're going to comment on at least 2 other classmates' slides. It could be something that they have in common, or something that they really thought was pretty cool. I've asked them not to comment on classmates' slides that they interviewed. So they have to learn about some new classmates. And this whole thing is due Friday, September 11th at 11:59 p.m. So it gives them 3 whole days to do this assignment, which should be fine for this. And so I'll play you a little bit of what mine is like, and you can design yours the same, differently. I'll update mine for this coming school year, but otherwise it's much easier if you give them some guidelines and really map it out and practice it yourself, because then any trouble that they get into, you can easily come and be the superhero with all of the answers.
Hi ladies, I wanted to introduce you to my page on this Who Are We project on VoiceThread. This is a little bit of our first introduction to one another, so pay attention, get to know your friends or your classmates, and I hope this makes VoiceThread not so scary for those of you who have not used it yet, and you get to play around and have a little bit of fun and be creative. So I'll start talking about my slide. In the upper left-hand corner,
so that's just a little snippet of the comments that they have. And you'll definitely get some emails this first week, but if you go through it and you can take any of this, pause this screencast, copy any of these instructions that you want to, please use them, take them. I would love to hear feedback if you've come up with anything that is easier or more user-friendly yourself. But don't hesitate, and obviously you've seen my contact information, so if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Good luck!